I had hoped you'd soon return. I have the reward from Lady Tanith. Take it. It's yours, by right. Let us tread the path of the recusant together, till we reach the miserable death that awaits us. You're still alive, I see.
Learn skills. I don't need any of these. I already have them all. So I don't think there's anything else we can do for anyone in Volcano Manor.
Yeah.
I really don't. Like, unless you find something, I don't think there is, because we've done doors blocked shut. We've done all the things for him. The lady, I don't remember her name, but the one with the back that's arched, I think she left. Mm-hmm. Unless she's in here and oh, whoa, who's this? Who's this person?
I don't know.
Brave Tarnished, what is your business here? I'm afraid this is not a guest room. What's that peculiar look upon your face? Goodness, am I still a serpent? Oh, how dreadful. How dreadful indeed. Oh, forgive my distress. I ought to be thanking you for treating me as usual. Despite this appearance, Brave Tarnished, this is my true form. My real name is Zarias. Please forgive the deception. Do understand. This duplicity is my own doing. Lady Tanith speaks no falsehoods. And the Volcano Manor is just as it seems. Lady Tanith is my mother. I am told I was born by the grace of a glorious king, that my mother cherishes this form I inhabit. I am proud of what I am, but people are cruel. If they saw my true form, they wouldn't speak to me. And so I assume a guise when seeking new recruits. But you are not like the rest. My serpentine form and the name Zarias were secrets, known only to Lady Tanith and I. Now I share the secrets with you as well. Please keep them safe from anyone else. My serpentine form and were secrets, known. Now I share the secrets. Please keep them.
Talk to Tanith.
Oh, wait.
Huh. So I didn't get anything from her.
So
it's interesting.
She's still there. Finished. We did do request 3. Talk to Tanith about. So talk to Tanith.
So I thought if I talked to Tanith, I'd be teleported.
And Tanith will give you a tonic of forgetfulness that you have to give to Raya to drink.
Raya.
I think the one we just talked to.
I see that you've stayed the path of champions. This is your usual reward. Please, take it. Perhaps you are ready. Might you see our Lord? Our Lord will no doubt welcome you. Another kindred spirit, treading the path of champions.
This lady's thick, honestly. Like, I'd make a kid with her. I'd make another serpent kid. Raya's the one with the serpent back?
Yeah.
Or serpent?
Yeah.
See, I don't think that we did this right.
Okay.
I think that, unfortunately, we might have locked ourselves out of that quest. Because, somehow you were supposed to know to talk to her and find her in that room in between doing things.
Okay.
And this is one of the things I don't really like about this game, is that it kind of seems like we are now at a point where we can't do that because we somehow didn't randomly find that ahead of time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really understand it because she didn't... Oh, now she's a person again.
Oh, it's you. Forgive me. My mind never ceases to churn of late. Well, I know I can trust you. I saw something slithering in the pitch black of night. It entered the room next to this one and never came out. If I'm not mistaken, it took the form of a serpent, just like me. Does the Volcano Manor hide some secret that Lady Tanith has kept from me? I realize that I shouldn't impose, but if you discover anything, would you please share? Really? Oh, so there was a secret after all. Oh my. Lady Tanith, my own mother, has deceived me. Was I not born by the grace of a king? Lady Tanith, was I not born by...
And you have to do all that before Rykard?
Yes. So,
okay.
Because then now we're going to go find this whole item, and it'll be like a whole other thing.
Okay.
So it sounds like now we're going to have to go on like some big quest to find this item for her.
And then...
And then after we do that, which is kind of a long path, then we have to give her this item. And then you talk to Tanith, and then she'll give you that tonic of forgetfulness.
Okay. Interesting.
And then it has you do other stuff before you can fight Rykard. But this is the last thing.
You see that? That's one of those serpents. Look.
Oh, yeah.
Huh. Okay.
But yeah, so this thing, her questline is the last thing.
For Volcano Manor.
Before we fight Rykard.
Okay. Oh, we made progress.
We did.
We made no progress.
0 progress.
We did nothing.
This game sucks. I hate this game. Yeah, remember we were doing that ladies questline?
Yeah, they were like, hey, listen, there's a
snake in my boot.
There's a snake in my boot, and it happened to go into the wall. I need you to go get that. And then you tried to put some flex tape on the wall, but
right.
You ran out, so then you had to go here. And here we are.
Can you pause? Or go to the map, I mean? What is that site of grace called?
This site of grace is called Prison Town Church. Now, some people may think that you're asking what it's called. Because you wanted to look it up, but you are not. You are asking what it's called because you keep track of what they're named.
Yes, exactly, just in my head.
Where did he go?
I think he fell down.
This guy is terrifying. Whoa.
Whoa, what is he trying to hit you through the ground?
I don't know.
Alright, can you teleport there?
I'm literally there. That's just where I am.
But where is the site of grace?
It's literally right here. So we came outside.
Okay.
It's right here. We came outside, and now we're supposed to look around because we figured out that there's serpents here.
Okay.
Remember? That's the next part of the quest. Is us exploring the area.
Right.
And doing stuff here. I feel like we don't need to actually consult the internet on the next step to this quest yet, because...
Well, I feel like we do.
Well, we're literally just looking around here.
Okay.
Like, aren't we going to just look around?
I'm sorry.
Well, no, I mean, just aren't we going to look around either way?
That's true.
Would we just be like, well, the quest says to go to the end, so therefore I'm going to stop nowhere, I'm going to look at nothing, I'm just going to push to the end.
Well, that's my version of a quest.
I know that's your version.
Oh, jeez. What is this?
What are those, you mean?
What are the... That's my own version of the meme. What is this?
Oh!
What is that?
No!
What? What is this?
Yeah, the next Me Too movement's going to be hearing about that. Okay, let's get out of here.
What? Okay, this reminds me of Dark Souls. Remember down in those catacombs with like those stupid wheel creatures that like came like they had like 10,000 of them. They all came like rolling towards you.
Yeah, but what's weird is this looks like it has stuff alive on the inside. You see that?
Yeah.
That's what grabbed me and pulled me in. Doesn't
Yeah,
it look like there was something
that's
alive?
what Me Too'd you.
Like, I'm not alone in that, right? It looked like
No,
it was
you are
living,
not alone in that.
living thing.
So, what are your thoughts, and I'm actually being serious on this, it might sound like a meme.
I'm bringing my friend.
Okay. What are your thoughts on people who are disabled? And I'm talking like physically...
I don't like them. Oh, no, oh, sorry.
Oh, no, I wasn't talking about that.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking like physically disabled. I'm not talking like mentally disabled.
Okay, my answer hasn't changed.
Okay. What are your thoughts on people who are physically disabled and trying to find someone to date, but when
Good
the
luck.
person they find when the person that they, like, let's say they're on a dating app or something, and the person
Right.
finds out that they're disabled, they're not interested
Which
anymore.
should be obvious, but...
Right. But, like, what are your thoughts on, do you think the person that is not interested is a douchebag because they're not interested because they're disabled, or do you think that should not be a hindrance on any level?
I mean, I think it's kind of mean, but it depends on what kind of thing we're talking about. So, like, here's an example. If you are someone who's very sexual,
Right.
and someone is disabled from the waist down, and they can't enjoy that, because there are people who can.
Right.
Like, they have feeling in their nerves and stuff, they can enjoy that. But let's say they can't, right?
Yeah.
Well, then that's your prerogative to be like, hey, listen, this matters a lot to me. I'm a very sexual person. The same way, by the way, before someone gets mad at that, we don't get mad at these people who claim they're asexual not being interested in someone who's a very sexual person.
Right.
So it's like, to me, it's one of those things where it's like, this kind of goes both ways. Like, if you have these preferences, that should be okay or not. But if it's really like a really douchey reason, or it's just like, I don't want to push you in your wheelchair or some shit like that, it's like, well, then you're kind of being a dick, you know what I mean?
Right.
I think it would really depend on the actual reasoning behind why you're not interested. Is it just, you're disabled, therefore you're not as good as me?
Right.
Because then they're a dick. Mm-hmm. Or what's the reasoning? Like, the same way, like, there could be someone who doesn't want to date someone because they don't like their family. Mm-hmm. That has nothing to do with that person and their personality.
Right.
But it's still like an acceptable reason. You also don't owe anyone to date them, which is something I hear all the time.
Right.
And also, I'm constantly inundated on the internet with the trans people don't have to tell you if they're actually trans if you're dating them logic. Right. So, like, if that logic's true, then I think, like, well, if we're going by you don't owe anyone to date them no matter who you are, then that's just you don't owe anyone to date them no matter who you are, right?
Yeah.
So, like...
So what if the reasoning was...
If you think you're better than them, I think that's a problem.
Well, what if the reasoning was, I don't think I'm better than you, but if this person is physically disabled, it would take a lot of extra work to have to take care of that individual, right? And
Right.
what if the person is not wanting to get involved with that? Like, what if they're just, like, looking for just... This is going to sound really mean. But what if they're just looking for, like, a normal partner? Again, I know that sounds mean. But do you have a problem with that?
I would say I don't have a problem with it. I would say, though, oh, by the way, the Erd Tree's old sap becomes amber, treasured as the most precious jewels in the age of Godfrey, the first Elden Lord. That's cool. This, to me, seems like a very good...
Like a good medallion to put on?
Yeah.
Did we have one that just raised our max
HP, I did that.
Yeah, but did we have one on before that just did
No.
that? Okay.
If you're going to go by that logic, then you better not expect someone to take care of you if
Right.
something happens to you.
Right.
So,
Well, I think it's different if, like, for example, if my wife got into, like, a bad car accident and she became disabled because of the car accident, I think that's a different example if, like, I'm already married to her, I've already known her, you know what I mean?
right, I'm just saying if the reasoning is you would be a burden to me, and then you're going to be a burden to other people, I feel like then you should... I'm not saying, like, just jump off a bridge. I'm just saying
Right.
then you shouldn't be surprised if someone doesn't want to deal with it when you're a burden.
Right.
Whether you knew them ahead or not, because they still might not want to. Mm-hmm. And I think that you have to be prepared for that. Like, kind of like what goes around comes around. Mm-hmm. It's like, it doesn't necessarily make you an evil person, but say somebody else comes around with that same logic when it has to do with you, I don't think you'd have, like, a super big ground to stand on for being angry.
Right.
Then.
Because it's like, well, you did the same thing.
Right, like, you're the same type of person.
You're right.
Which, I'm not saying in, like, a mean way, it's just... I don't know. But this is the same thing, too, with, like, people will justify... I mean, people do anything to justify anything they do, but people will justify, like, an abortion over, like, a kid, a potential kid or whatever, is going to have, you know, physical problems and I can't take care of them. And no
Right.
one questions that. Mm-hmm. You know, well, people do, but, like, for the most part, people are like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Like, your kid was going to have Down syndrome. Well, you can't be expected to take care of that person. It's your choice. You know what I mean? So, like, again, I know it's like apples to oranges, but I think when you make all this stuff like okay in some circumstances, then to me, in a much like less important circumstance like dating, where you already don't owe anyone to date them, you could not date anyone for any reason you want.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't have to date anybody. You could date no one. Just because.
Right.
Like you don't have to have a reason. Albinauric blood clot.
Huh.
In the world. The Albinaurics are really interesting in this game. I don't know why we're picking up their blood clots now, though, but that's a little odd. The thick coagulated blood of Albinaurics used for crafting items. They are life forms made by human hands. Thus, many believe them to live impure lives, untouched by the Earth Tree's grace.
So I guess the reason why I'm asking is I saw a TikTok of a girl who was in a wheelchair, and this video was her. She had on a dating app. I guess she didn't put on the dating app that she was, in a wheelchair. Mm-hmm. And the video was this guy who was meeting up with her, that she matched with or whatever. He talked to her for like a few minutes and then kind of just said like, I don't think this is going to work out, and left. And half the people in the comment sections were basically blaming him, being like, well, how dare you? And then the other half were like, well, wait a minute, what's the problem here? If he doesn't want that extra burden, burden sounds mean, but it's like if he doesn't want to put in all that work and he just kind of wants, that, well, then he's not the one for you. So then just keep trying until you get the one for you. And I guess my thoughts on it were kind of more like, as mean as it sounds, if someone is in a wheelchair, it's not that they're less of a person, but that does require a lot of work to take care of that person.
It can, but person can also be like 100% self-sustaining.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So it depends. I mean, like,
sure.
Are we talking about like you're dating Stephen Hawking?
Well, no,
you know what I mean?
Right, yeah. But and this is also coming, like, I could very easily be in a wheelchair, and I could very easily be a burden on my wife. But I'm just saying, like, it's just the reality of it, right? There is like a little extra work that you have to put in.
Oh my.
And I guess my thought is, like, well, maybe some people out there, just
you're not gonna offend me here.
No, I know. I'm trying to figure out how to say this. Just as there might be other reasons that someone might not want to date somebody, mm-hmm. I don't see a problem with that specific thing being one of them. Because the way I always see it is, if that one specific person does not want to date you, for whatever reason it is, well, then there's someone else out there that doesn't have an issue with that one specific thing. So just move on from that person and then wait till you find the one person that doesn't have a problem with that. Mm-hmm. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm not blaming the guy for not wanting to blame this person, for not wanting to date this person that he literally just met, by the way. Mm-hmm. And I guess I don't understand why people think that person needs to date the person, or else he's a dick.
Well, that's the thing, is like you don't have any obligation ever to date.
Right, exactly. Anyone. I mean, you could have any reason you want to.
There are dumb reasons, though. Like,
right.
I genuinely do think there are stupid reasons. Like, for example, if you were just like, you're in a wheelchair, therefore no, that to me is a bit of a dumb reason. Because, like, if it was, you're in a wheelchair and you need excessive help from your partner, and I am not... Like, I think that this speaks a little bit to maturity. I wouldn't say that you're a bad person, but I personally think it's a little immature to let something... physical, because the physical's temporary anyway. Like, I really believe that physical stuff is temporary. I think human beings are more than that, you know what I mean?
Right.
I think if you're gonna let something small like that stand in the way of a potential connection on its own only, Like, say you're a great match for this person. Mm-hmm. Like, they're your other half. Like, they will complete you. But they're in a wheelchair, so no. To me, that's an immature reason. But you can still have it. I'm not going to crucify you over it. But to me, that's an emotionally immature reason to not date someone, because there are people who are in wheelchairs who are 10 times the mature, interesting partner as half the people who aren't.
Right.
But it really depends. I mean, like, if they're severely disabled, like I said, and you're very sexual, and that can't happen. I see that the same way as saying, I'm very sexual, I'm not going to date someone who claims to be asexual. I wouldn't date someone who's asexual.
Right.
I don't owe them to date them. You know why? Because I'm a sexual person. I like sex. And so for me, I just wouldn't do that. And it's not a value judgment, it's just that. So I think when you have that kind of thing, or maybe, like, say, one of your biggest things in life is you really want to have a child, and it's very important to you that it is yours. I do think in some ways you're missing out, because I think that there are tons of kids out there who need a dad or a mom who could be a better fit for your family, possibly. You just never know.
Right.
Or as good. I thought one of these would lead into the lava like a douche and just kill you. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if that's something that's really important to you, is it has to be my sperm that created this kid.
Right.
Well, I'm not going to crucify you for it, but I do think that it's, personally for me, missing a little bit of the bigger picture, because I don't think that stuff... I think human beings blow certain things out of proportion because they're uncomfortable. I think that guy probably wasn't hateful. He probably didn't not want to date her because he was like, you're in a wheelchair, I hate you. It was probably more like he wasn't mature enough to handle that, or there was more to the story because the person telling the story was the person who was.
Right.
So also, have you noticed whenever someone tells the story, they're never the bad guy?